Alright, all set. And 3, 2, 1, action! This is Cinematic Motif. Hello, I'm Wanson, the film critic and the content creator, and welcome back to Cinematic Motif, where I introduce you films in Taiwan and around the world. Alright, so welcome to our show today, and as always, this is a film playlist show centering around a theme, a motif. But today I have a big announcement to make. That is, I am about to say goodbye to you from RTI temporarily. Temporarily. Keep in mind this word, temporarily. So the thing is like this. I am actually still a university student, and I got a chance to be an exchange student in France in the do you guys know Sciences Po? It's a very prestigious school of social sciences in France, in Paris. I got a chance to be studying there for half a year, so I'm going to be there for the first half of 2025. That is, I'm going to take a leave from RTI for a little bit for 6 months, and then I shall be back after the summer. Would that be okay? I hope it'll be okay for you. I hope when I come back, I can still do cinematic motif. I hope that I get more inspirations to do cinematic motif, and yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that. So that is the thing. So today our motif is leaving or saying goodbye. I want to say this wording like this. Departure. Okay, make it sound graceful. I'm going to say goodbye to you, not today, but next week, okay? But first of all, we should have a warm-up. We should have a sense that, Wanson, you're actually leaving in just a few moments. Today, I'm going to share 3 of my favorite scenes of saying goodbye in movies. And some of the movies, in some cases, the characters will actually come back. They will see each other again. And I want to see you again, okay? Once again, I am not going to say goodbye to you forever, okay? Okay, listen up, okay? Now, first of all, let's start with Toy Story 3, 玩具总动员3. Now, this movie is of importance in my mind, in my personal film watching history. That is because this is the first 3D movie that I have ever watched in theaters. My mom and dad took me to a 3D movie theater, a 3D cinema to watch this movie, and I was really fascinated by the whole, visual effects, and then, actually, one of these toys, sometimes they're flying towards me when I'm watching 3D movies. So, as you might all have known, Toy Story 3 is a 2010 American animated comedy movie produced by Pixar, and it's also the 3rd movie in the Toy Story series. Sequel to Toy Story 2, which was released in 1999. Okay, so we waited for 11 years for Toy Story 3, and then we wait another, about 10 years for Toy Story 4. I didn't watch that, okay? So, because in my mind, Toy Story 3 is already a perfect ending to the series, I would say. So in Toy Story 3, Andy, the leading character, is leaving for college and plans to take Woody with him. However, his mother accidentally puts the toys in a garbage bag, which is taken to the curb. So the toys escape, and believing that they've been discarded, and end up in a donation box headed for Sunnyside Daycare. Woody tries to stop them but fails, and at Sunnyside, the toys are welcomed by Lotso, the bear, and other toys. But after a rough time with the toddlers, Buzz asks to move to the older kids' room. Instead, he's brainwashed by Lotso, because Lotso is actually the bad guy, the evil guy in this particular movie. So Andy's toys, the other toys, try to escape, and the toys are then brought to a local landfill. The most of them are placed on a conveyor belt leading to an incinerator, and that is the most horrible scene that I watched, that I could have, thought of when I was watching that movie when I was when I was 7 years old, when I was watching that movie in the 3D movie theater. How horrible is that? I'm seeing a lot of toys that are going to be sent into the garbage destroy, and they're going to be destroyed. That was really, really horrible for me. Very, very terrifying. I'm not going to tell you the details in the movie, but I believe you can all go watch it by yourself. The most touching scene for me is that at the end of the movie, the toys then return to Andy's house, and then Andy decides to donate these toys to Bonnie, and he introduces these toys to Bonnie, and then that is a very, very touching moment, and then passes Woody on. And Andy bids a quiet farewell, and the toys begin a new chapter with Bonnie. So, I mean, Andy is saying goodbye to the toys, but he's not denying the toys. He's not saying that you are useless to me because I've grown up. Andy is saying that, okay, you can move on and you can find a new home, and the new life for you will be even better. So the main point is not about, leaving someone or leaving someone behind. It's more of about starting a new chapter of your life. And I think that is very, very touching, I would say, because at the end of the day, these toys are really, really good friends to Andy. You guys are good friends of mine, and I'm saying goodbye to you for a moment. I must insist once again, I am going to be back. Let's play this track, Randy Newman, and You've Got a Friend in Me, because you've got a friend in me, okay?
Road look rough ahead, and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed. You just remember what your old past said. Boy, you got a friend in me. Yeah, you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got trouble, and I got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. We stick together, see it through, 'cause you've got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. Some other folks might be a little bit smarter than I am, big and stronger too, maybe, but none of them will ever love you the way I do. It's me and you, boy, and as the years go by, our friendship will never die. You're gonna see it's our destiny. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me.
Randy Newman and You've Got a Friend in Me from Toy Story series here on Radio Taiwan International. Today we're talking about movies related to saying goodbye. I would term it this way: departure. It's just a departure of mine from RTI for 6 months, taking a leave, and because I'm going to be exchange student in France. I'm so emotional today. I can't even say the words clearly on the show today. Okay, it's not today. I am still going to be here next week, and I'm going to be starting my leave from February. And I'll be staying in France until July. So we just talked about Toy Story 3 and the goodbye Andy said to the toys. And now let's move on to the next movie. That is another one that I love so much. It's called Belfast. If you are a loyal listener of our show, you might know that I actually talked about this movie earlier when we were talking about the motif for immigration, but I think I didn't have too much time to elaborate on this movie, and I want to talk about it with you because the saying goodbye in this movie, it's so touching. So it's about saying goodbye to your homeland, but ultimately you might come back and see your homeland again several years later. So Belfast is a 2021 British coming-of-age drama directed and written by Kenneth Branagh. This is basically Kenneth Branagh very, very personal story, and it also won Oscar's Best Original Screenplay. In Belfast in 1969, Buddy is just a kid, living his life like any other child would. But these aren't ordinary times. There's fighting between Protestants and Catholics, and Buddy's family is caught in the middle of it. Even regular, law-abiding folks are being pushed to pick a side. With all the chaos, Buddy's dad thinks about moving the family away from Belfast, that is, saying goodbye to their homeland. Kenneth Branagh, who is the filmmaker of Belfast, he really crafts an emotional, compelling family story using beautiful, precise cinematography to vividly convey the warmth and emotion of the narrative. Each frame of the film carries significant weight, in my opinion, and it also invites audience to savor its depth. The film opens with a mural from modern-day Belfast, and this whole scene features three faces wearing working-class British hats, and it hints that the story will unfold within the working-class community. And then the camera shifts to a black and white neighborhood, and it transports the audience, us, back to 1969. This is very, very brilliantly done because in the first violent conflict scene, Branagh's camera work is particularly striking. The camera circles around young Buddy with an out-of-focus background showing the chaos of the mob, and then the swirling movement heightens the tension and chaos. It captures Buddy's stunned expression while emphasizing the childlike perspective that drives the narrative, because ultimately this film is talking about the story, telling the story in Buddy's perspective. As the story progresses, we have the film uses the child-eyes view to capture Buddy's innocent observations, and basically he's grappling with religious conflicts and typical childhood emotional struggles. I mean, one of the other most fascinating thing about the visual elements in Kenneth Branagh's this movie, Belfast, is that much of the image is in black and white. But keen-eyed viewers like us, like you, like me, we will spot a few colorful scenes in this whole movie. One is something about film, and the other one is about drama, play. Kenneth Branagh actually explained in an interview that the use of color in this film reflects the memories in his mind. His deep love for both theater and film is evident in this movie, as these elements are forever preserved in his memory in vibrant hues. That's why these things are colorful. He projects himself onto the character of Buddy, who in turn becomes captivated by the world of cinema. And the director also mentioned that the absence of color in the black and white scenes allows the audience to better feel the emotions of the characters, because the audience would not be, distracted. So Branagh expertly uses light to layer the black, white, and grey tones, giving the images a warm and poignant quality. My favorite leading moment of this movie is when, the Pop and Buddy were having a conversation about leaving Belfast. Pop is the grandfather of Buddy. So Pop actually asked Buddy, Belfast will still be here. He tells Buddy, Belfast will still be here when you get back. But Buddy asked grandfather, will you? And Pop said, I'm going nowhere, you won't find me. No matter how far you go, your homeland is always going to be there, even after you say goodbye. And that itself, I think, is a very, very fascinating and very, very warm and touching, elements to the story. We say goodbye, but you're going to be there. Okay, so I might be saying goodbye to you in just a few moments next week, but you're going to still be here, right? And I hope that I will be here when we meet again, okay? Let's play this very important track from the movie. It's Love Affair and Everlasting Love here on Radio Tower International. We'll be right back.
Welcome love we once knew. Open up your eyes, then you realize, here I stand with my everlasting love. Need you by my side, girl, to be my bride. You'll never be denied everlasting love. From the very start, open up your heart, feel that you fall of everlasting love.
This is Everlasting Love by Love Affair here on Radio Tower International from the movie Belfast. And today we're talking about movies related to saying goodbye, because I will be saying goodbye to you for a moment for 6 months after the show next week. Alright, so let's move on to our final movie today, that is Luca. Okay, so if you are another loyal listener of our show, you would know that we talked about Luca in our Pride Month special with Alan. Alan is going to be back in Taiwan very soon. Wow, Alan, shout out to you. So, but today I want to approach this film from a different perspective, that is through the perspective of saying goodbye. So, once again, we recap the films. This is a 2021 American animated film by Disney Pixar, and just like Toy Story 3. So it was set in 1959 in a village by the coast in Italy, Porto Rosso. Luca and Alberto become friends and start the journey to win a Vespa in a triathlon. What is interesting is that they are actually of another breed. They are not human. They are sea monsters deemed by the villagers. So this movie is about how they conceal real identity and mingle into the human world. They befriend humans and eventually become accepted by the humans after their identity is revealed. So, of course, we discuss about the puberty friendship and romance, and also how sea monster breed symbolizes racism, and also any contemporary conflicts, and also minority issues, and maybe even homophobia when we discuss this movie in June last year. But now let's move on to the final scene of this movie. I think so. Before I prepared for the content of this particular show, I rewatched the scene of saying goodbye in Luca, and I burst out into tears again. I have no idea how that happened, but it is just really, really touching. So, at that moment, at the final moment of this movie, Luca is finally able to go to school, and we have Alberto saying goodbye to Luca, and not just Alberto, but also Luca's family, and they say that we are always here for you, like my and when I was listening to these lines, it reminds me of my family and friends when I tell them that I'm going to go to France, go to Paris for half a year, and they're like, okay, we're always going to be here for you. We are going to be here for you, waiting for you to come back. And that really resonates with my feelings, and that's why I almost burst out into tears when I was watching this final clip upstairs in our English service office. I'm glad that no one were in the office, or else it would be very, very embarrassing. So Luca asked Alberto this question: how am I gonna know that you're okay? And Alberto says, I'm going to be okay. And, at the final scene of the movie, Alberto says a sentence in Italian. I do not know what that means. It's kind of like I really don't know. Anyway, Luca says, are you serious? What does that supposed to mean? And then Alberto says, well, you'll find out for me. You can find out for me. Will you? In that moment, I was like, this is really, really touching. Because when they're saying goodbye, they're not trying to, tell each other that you should leave, you should come and stay with me, we should be together. They're saying that I'll leave you to go to explore the world. And when you're back, tell me your results. Tell me what you have explored during your time exploring the world. That's why Alberto says to Luca, you'll find out for me, will you? And that idea is really beautiful. That is saying goodbye. Saying goodbye does not mean to tie the other person with you. It's about letting the other go and then let the other to explore the world by themselves, and maybe they'll come back with some precious memories that they can share with you. And that is really, really beautiful in my opinion. Alright, so these are the 3 films that I have shared with you today. Luca, and also Belfast, and also Toy Story 3. These 3 films both feature really, really well-crafted and very, very touching scenes of saying goodbye. And I hope you can all go watch these movies, because, as I said, my ultimate goal for this program, Cinematic Motif, is to introduce you to the fascinating world of cinema, and then make sure that you can all enjoy good movies. So, final song for you today, I have this one for you, Ed Sheeran and the A-Team, because I think we are the A-Team. You, the listeners, and me, we are the A-Team. We are cinema lovers.
They scream, the worst things in life come free to us, 'cause we're
Alright, so that is all for our show today on Cinematic Motif. As always, if you've got any requests or feedback, final words for me, send your email to wanson@rti.org.tw. You can also follow me on my Instagram and YouTube account. My handle is at wansonscfe. I'm still going to be back next week, because next week my friend Emily is going to be here to interview me and ask me a lot of questions about movie, about life, about producing this program for you, Cinematic Motif. And I hope you would enjoy that Q&A sessions. I actually recorded that before this episode, so I know what's going to happen. So it's going to be interesting. So come back, okay? And next week's going to be the last episode of Cinematic Motif before I leave Taiwan for 6 months. This has been Cinematic Motif. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to be back next week. Bye bye.
She's in the class 18, stuck in her daydream. Been this way since 18, but lately her face seems slowly sinking, wasting, crumbling like pastries. And they scream, the worst things in life come free to us, 'cause we're just under the upper hand. I'm going mad for a couple grams, but she don't wanna go outside tonight. And in a pipe she flies to the motherland and sells love to another man. It's too cold outside for angels to fly. An angel will die covered in white, closed eyes and hoping for a better life. This time we'll fade out tonight, straight down the line. And they say she's in the class 18, stuck in her daydream. Been this way since 18, but lately her face seems slowly sinking, wasting, crumbling like pastries. They scream, the worst things in life come free to us, and we're all under the upper hand. I'm going mad for a couple grams, and we don't wanna go outside tonight. In the pipe, fly to the motherland, or sell love to another man. It's too cold outside for angels to fly.